Hey everyone, I'm Andy and welcome to another episode of Easy Tiki Drinks. And today on the channel, we're gonna be making Mai Tais for breakfast because it seems like a great idea. So, let's do this. So first off, I want to thank Matt, who's one of my followers on Instagram. And actually, I served him at Wusong Road where I bartend. And his Instagram is Radioactive Tiki, and I will drop it in the description below. But I want to thank him for this shirt, because he was super kind and sent it to me. So thanks, Matt. This is a dope shirt. Love wearing it. Gotten a ton of compliments on it. So again, thank you. Today on the channel, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a breakfast Mai Tai. Now, where did this come from? Well, I'll tell you that later on, but the inspiration from this came from another Instagram follower who asked me, what would I think about using cinnamon in a Mai Tai? I thought to myself, sounds like a great idea. And then I remembered that somebody had already done it before. And that's the breakfast Mai Tai. So, let's see what we're gonna do to make this cocktail that's perfect for breakfast. Or is it? Let's find out. First, we're gonna need an aged Jamaican rum. Next up, we're gonna need a black rum. And hold on a second, I know you're thinking to yourself, Andy, you never call anything a black rum, and you're right, that's probably true. So I'm gonna tell you exactly why I'm calling this a black rum and what we're gonna do with it a little later on. Next up, we're gonna need some Orgeat. Actually, I take that back. We will need Orgeat, but first we're gonna need some banana liqueur. Now we're gonna need some Orgeat. Cinnamon syrup. And of course, it can't be a Mai Tai without lime juice. The aged Jamaican rum that I'm using is Smith & Cross. The black rum is Worthy Park 109. The banana liqueur is Tempest Fusion. The Orgeat and cinnamon syrup are homemade, and the lime juice is fresh squeezed. I'm gonna rearrange this. All right, there we go. Pretty simple. There are a few ingredients in here that are a little weird. Let me talk about that first. First, you notice that I called something a black rum, which I don't typically do. I'll call something an aged Demerara rum or an overproof Demerara rum. Typically, I don't call something by black rum. However, this recipe does come from Easy Tiki by Chloe, and I will leave a link in the description below if you'd like to pick up your own copy. And in that, she does specifically call for a black rum. Now, I looked up the recipes and people that have done this recipe, and a lot of people use Hamilton Jamaican Pot Still Black, which I don't happen to have, and the closest thing I do have is Worthy Park 109. Now, if you don't have Worthy Park 109, use Hamilton Pot Still Black. If you don't have that, use any other dark rum. And what I mean by that is a rum that has literally been colored with caramel coloring. So something that is literally like pitch black in nature. So that's why I called it a black rum. That's what we're gonna be using it for. And honestly, we're only using a little bit. We're gonna float it on top of this cocktail just to add some color. So if you also wanna leave it off, really that's your call, go for it. Anyway, let's build this. We'll talk about who created this cocktail, why she created this cocktail, and then I'll tell you my tasting notes. Sound good to you? Sounds good to me. All right, first up, we're gonna need an ounce of lime juice. Quarter ounce of cinnamon syrup. Half an ounce of Orgeat. Half an ounce of our banana liqueur. Now I'm using Tempest Fusion. In the book, I'm almost 100% sure, and I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it actually calls for Giffards, which I don't happen to have. And that is going to change the flavor profile here. Mine's gonna be a little bit on the darker side, it's gonna be a little bit more on the richer side, a little bit more of like the baked banana bread notes that we get from the Tempest Fusion. If you go with something like a Giffards, you're gonna get more of that kind of bright, that kind of like, you know, like those Runts candies that you used to eat as a kid? Like that artificial banana? Yeah, you're gonna get more of that flavor, and it's gonna be a lighter cocktail, which will contrast better with the float that we do, so maybe it's a better option, but I've got the Tempest Fusion, so I'm gonna go with that. We need half an ounce of our banana liqueur. And then last but not least, we're gonna need 1.5 ounces of our aged Jamaican rum. And Chloe, in the book by the author, does specifically call for Smith & Cross. I love Smith & Cross. I've always got it on my bar. So that's what we're gonna use. 1.5 ounces of our aged Jamaican rum. All right, let's grab some ice and put it into our shaking tin. Pour our cocktail in. Give it a nice little whack. I'm gonna whip shake for about 5 to 8 seconds. All right, let's crack this bad boy open. I'm gonna grab our double rocks glass here, and we're just gonna open pour right in. We top with some more fresh crushed ice. All right, now if you notice, I haven't used the black rum yet, and that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna grab our black rum. We're gonna pour 3/4 of an ounce of our black rum. And then we're just gonna gently float that on top. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna add a dark layer to the very top of this cocktail. As I mentioned before, if you're using the Gaffards, it's gonna be more of a contrast. With this, we're gonna get less of a contrast because of the Tempest Fusion, but it's still okay. For a garnish, we're gonna go a little bit traditional and a little bit not. We're gonna grab our mint sprig, give it a nice little whack to wake it up and put it right in the back there. We're also gonna grab our cinnamon stick because we're using cinnamon syrup. Don't forget your straw. And there you have it, the breakfast Mai Tai. Let's give it a try. So before I go over my tasting notes, let's talk about who created this cocktail, where it was created, and why she created it. Well, this cocktail was created in Brooklyn at the Donna Bar. Who created it? Well, Fanny Chu. That's who created it. And why did she create it? Well, she wanted to create a Mai Tai variation that would remind her of eating breakfast while sitting on a beach in a tropical island. Did she hit the mark? Honestly, I don't know. Is this a good cocktail? Absolutely. I love this cocktail. It is tart, it is sweet. You definitely get that banana note, which is complemented with that cinnamon. That Jamaican funk is shining through. Now, I haven't gotten to the worthy part yet, but I'm sure that when I get down to the very bottom, once this drink dilutes a little bit more, those caramel notes are really gonna blend with that Tempest Fusion. But I don't really think this is a breakfast Mai Tai. We get notes of banana and cinnamon and the Orgeat, but that doesn't scream breakfast to me. I don't know about you. What do you guys think? Does this cocktail scream breakfast to you? Drop a comment in the below. Let me know. What do you guys think? Also, I know this is a bit of a divergent from your traditional Mai Tai. Yes, we've got lime. Yes, we've got Orgeat. But like, we're using cinnamon syrup as opposed to Demerara. We're using banana liqueur as opposed to orange liqueur. So there is a bit of a divergence. And some people argue that, well, don't call it a Mai Tai. I would argue that it's not called a Mai Tai, it's called a breakfast Mai Tai. So by doing that alone, you've differentiated it from a traditional Mai Tai, and I think that's okay. If you disagree, that's fine. Let me know in the comments below. But anyway, that's it for today's episode. This is the Breakfast Mai Tai by Fanny Chu. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Go on over to the channel, like and subscribe. Go on over to Instagram, follow me at Easy Tiki Drinks. Do the same thing over on TikTok, and that's about it. I'm gonna go enjoy this Mai Tai. It might be breakfast when I'm doing it. It might not. You actually have no idea, which is kind of neat. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. And until next time, take it easy.